osteoporosis, fractures, and rickets. Rickets a bit less these days, but it still is out there. Anyone needing muscle strengthening, so again after an injury or if they've had muscle strain, and any sort of compromised immune system, so like autoimmune diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis, things like that. And also, yeah, if anyone is more susceptible to catching a nasty virus that might be going around. Also, it helps to improve mood, heart function, and also aids in weight loss, so yay. So yeah, if anyone has any questions on like what would be good for their problem, or anyone that they know, here's my email, and yeah, just message me. I'll be happy to help. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I tend to put up a few sort of videos and things to help people with like exercises and healthy tips. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rebecca. That's a lot of information to have to get across, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just to say, if you want any more information about what the supplements are, you can get in touch with myself or Rebecca or Angie, who's on, and we can explain in detail about the quality, the potency, the purity, why Synergy is so good, and why obviously the reputation of people who are osteopaths and chiropracticians and medical people, they use the Synergy products because they do what they say on the tin, basically. There's no nasties in there, they're organic, they're scientifically formulated to actually help with these conditions. So, you know, they are the creme de la creme. So that's why we recommend the Synergy ones. Now, also talking about now the creme de la creme in hairdressing. So we're going to hand you back to our duo here. So over to you, Liz and Tony.
So do they need to unmute themselves, Julie?
Royston, you can unmute yourself now. Do you know how to do that?
Don't worry, I can do it.
Okay. Okay, over to you, Liz.
They're muted.
Yeah.
Oh, there
I told you we're like Dumber and Dumber with this sort of stuff.
It's just like us two. Well, welcome, boys. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's fabulous to see you, as always. So I just want to say a big, big thank you. Hopefully, it's drawn the crowds, as lovely as you both are. We've known each other for a long, long time. So let's just talk about you and how we know each other. Let everybody know.
Well, first of all, I was just going to say thanks for having us, because this is like a day out, really, isn't it? When you're in lockdown, you don't see anybody, don't do anything. No. So it's been great just to sort of see other people.
That's lovely.
Do you want to start?
I mean, first of all, how do we know you? How do we know you? How do we know you? I think it's when we used to be on stage together at Fellowship many, many years ago, when you was demonstrating hairdressing, not on a pole like you have been in the last few years. No, when you was demonstrating hairdressing, we was both doing presentation at the same time. That's when I remember you first, and then obviously we became good friends, and we've seen each other all through the years progress and get older and slightly fatter, you know. So
I think a lot fatter is more like, God. I think we're talking about 22 years ago, though, really, in reality, when we first met.
Definitely, yeah, it's been, and it doesn't seem that long ago at all, does it, boys? It's like,
oh my God. I mean, for anybody who's on here who's not a hairdresser, the Fellowship is great because all the top hairdressers are in the Fellowship, and it's a great starting point when you are new in the business. I mean, 20 years ago, we weren't new in the business, but we decided to do a different sort of thing in hairdressing. We wanted to do shows and that sort of thing. So it was where we started, and it was a great platform, wasn't it, Liz?
Oh, absolutely amazing. And it was just, it's like a family, isn't it? You know, we meet quite a few times a year, and we go down to see shows, and, you know, everybody, there's no big egos, you know, everybody's there on an equal plateau type thing. So, so from the Fellowship, obviously you get involved in the British Hairdressing Awards as well, don't you?
Well, the awards, we've done the awards for years and years, and
Yeah.
thank goodness this year we did win again. It's the 4th time we've won, which was amazing, and it was great to do it this year in lockdown as well. But
there's a lot of work that goes into that, isn't there?
Well, there is a lot of work that goes into it, but this year was slightly easier in a way because of lockdown. You couldn't actually do a live shoot. So what we had to do was go into the archive, find out 6 of your favourite pictures and put them together as a collection. So it was slightly different this year, but it was still amazing we won. It's great for the team, and it's just great for the clients to know that you're still top of your game and all of that. The Hairdressing Awards is a brilliant thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say, for the ladies and gentlemen that don't really know about, I mean, I know what you're talking about, the hairdressing world, but in our world, it's like the Grammys, isn't it? Like if you win an award, you're like
an Oscar.
Yeah. It's something that really means something to us as hairdressers, possibly not to the public.
It's getting better.
Yeah, because we hold it in really high regard. If some salon has got an award somewhere, we just think, who are they? You know, we want to know. So there you go.
Exactly.
But it was also great for us as well, because then we became ambassadors for L'Oreal, where we travelled the world. I mean, I remember when Nick had got 2 passports. We was in and out that many different countries at the same time. You know, he had to have 2 passports, where we were demonstrating products, new looks, all over the world. You name it, we've probably been.
Yeah.
So that was great. So there's lots of things you can do, get out of hairdressing, and we've definitely got 100% out of our career.
Yeah. And are you still active in your salons today?
Active, we're there 5 days a week. We're always there, yeah. 24/7.
Yeah, you breathe it and live it, don't you? If they cut us open, we'd be all hair.
Well, we love it because we've got a fabulous team in both shops, and you know, we're big into education, so we're always doing things together. We're either doing shows, going to shows, demonstrating, or you know, there's lots of things we do. Lots of things.
I think the thing about our salon, and anyone who's watching, I know there is definitely one lady watching who does come to the salon. Lots of people think because we have quite a high profile name, they say, oh, I've been scared to come to the salon. I thought it would be posh. Our salon is the most down to earth. How can anything be posh with me and him in charge? You know what I mean? We love a laugh. It's very easy going. It's professional, but it is easy going. We have a laugh with all the staff. We've been very lucky. A lot of our staff have been there. We've had the salon 32 years, and we've got staff that have been with us 32 years, 20 years, 16 years. We've been very lucky. We've got a very loyal team.
Yeah, that sounds, you know, similar to me, because obviously I'm celebrating 30 years this year.
Oh, great.
That's brilliant.
So I'll see you in Marbella. I'll give you the week.
Oh, I can't wait.
Well, we actually went to Marbella about 3 years ago. We took all the staff, instead of having a Christmas party, we took all the staff to the Red Party just before Christmas, the closing party in Marbella, and that was amazing as well.
Yeah, because I saw you there. Yeah, we met
fabulous.
up then.
Yeah.
So tell us, how did you get into the Housewives of Cheshire? I mean, I have to say, when it first all came out, I didn't really know what was going on, and I thought that oh, this is like a film. I didn't realise it was like you know, real live people.
Yeah, it's reality.
I didn't realise it was a film. So tell us how you got into it.
How did we first get into the Real Housewives of Cheshire? Well, we're at a celebrity wedding in London, and we bumped into a woman called
Whose
Dawn
wedding?
Wall.
We can't tell you.
Oh,
Can't tell you now. Can't tell you. Anyway, we bumped into this woman, Cheshire. Well, socialite, wasn't she? Dawn Ward, and we became good friends. We hit it off straight away. So then she invited us to her house, and then we invited her here, and then we've seen each other, you know,
We've been on holiday
2 or 3 times a week, really, and going on holiday and different things. And then the Housewives came along, so where she invited us on as her friend, as a guest. Obviously, it's a Housewives, it's all about women, but that was a serious 1, and now it's serious 12, and we've been on from the very beginning. So as we started off with Dawn, now it's not about Dawn, it's about the production team invited us on. So you know, when it's going a bit flat, they bring good old Nick and Royston,
2 old queens to have a laugh.
So that's what it's all about. Well, it's been good for us, because what it's done, it's promoted the salon as well. Though we don't do hairdressing on the programme, we still promote it by, you know, doing some of the hairs like in the background of the housewives, you know, people we look after. So it's been good for us.
But not only that, I think it's just a talking point with the clients. The clients see you on TV, they want to know what's really going on. It's like all the gossip, all that sort of thing. So it's great. It's really been good for us. It's free publicity, isn't it, really? We've been very lucky. We love doing it. We always have a laugh with the girls as well. I mean, we're not just friends with Dawn now, we're friends with all the girls. And although it looks like we fall out all the while on TV, afterwards, sometimes there is, for maybe a week or so, a little bit of bad feeling, but you always get over it. But that's life with anyone. If you've got a friend, you always get over it, don't you? But we're friends with all the girls now.
And people say, is it scripted? No, it's not scripted. All what you see on the programme is true, totally true. So we do fall out, but we soon make up, as Nick's just said.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Oh, I bet the staff love it as well, don't they? Do they get involved anyway?
Well, if we have, like, we've had lots of occasions, like we had my 60th on there, where we had a leather, feather, flesh and whiplash party at the Fetish Club in Manchester.
What?
And all the staff came, everyone got...
Re-say that again.
Undressed, they were all undressed really, but it was fabulous. We had a decadence party, which was for the show. We invited people. We had our wedding renewal on there, which we invited the staff and other people. Lots of our friends came. We've had some amazing times on the Housewives show. It's been brilliant.
So hang on, leather, feather,
flesh and whiplash.
Oh
I'll leave it to your imagination.
I mean, elderflower is my limit, so you know that's a bit much. I love it.
It was amazing. We had a brilliant time.
In fact, we've got episode series 12, I should say, starting any time now. So the only problem is, until we come out of lockdown, we can't do any big parties. It's either going to be on Zoom or FaceTime. So it's not so exciting as it used to be, but you try and be as exciting as you can.
Only 6 of us can film together, but it has to be socially distant as well. So there's none of that real interaction. It's really difficult.
Yeah,
but
so
maybe it as well, because no one can punch each other. We're all arms length away.
Yeah, yeah, love it. So also, can I ask a few questions, if you don't mind? I'd love to know, like, when did you meet? How long have you guys been together?
Oh, where did we meet?
No, when?
Oh, when did
Sorry, it was a bit deaf.
I am deaf.
Well, you can tell us that, 'cause I'm sure that's nice.
Where did we meet?
When?
Yeah, and when we meet. Well, about 37 years ago, was it?
Yeah.
About 37 years ago. Nick had fell out with his boyfriend. I'd fell out with mine. We met at a little place in just outside Warsaw called Bentley at a friend's flat. And we just got talking. Nick said, where do you go for the weekend? I said, well, I go to London every weekend without fail. I spend all my money on clothes. I go to the best clubs, but I stay in the shithole in Sussex Gardens. It's about, in those days, it was about 20 quid a night, I think. But you did get a few rats running across the floor at night. But I'd rather spend the money on myself going, because I always wanted to pick a wealthy bloke up. Because I came from a counsellor, so most of my boyfriends were always about 20 years older than me. And I always wanted to get on in life and meet somebody with a bit of cash. So at that time, I was probably going out with some of the most wealthiest guys in London at the time. So Nick thought, as I was telling him who I was going out with, and I can't mention any names, but that was all people that you would know.
Very well.
Very wealthy. And he said, oh, can I come with you for a weekend? Well, his mother had just left him £1,300 because she'd died, the poor bugger. And so I thought, oh, well, he's got a bit of cash, he can join me. So I used to take him to the clubs. I used to say, Nick, and these was all straight clubs, because I never ever picked up in gay clubs. They're always straight clubs. And it was normally bisexual men. Anyway, so I used to say to them,
and they had to buy it.
And they did. Don't mention money, the tax man. So anyway, I used to say to him, you stand in that corner and I'll stand in this corner, each side of the club. And whoever picks up first, remember, I'm with you and you're with me. And we look after each other. So that's how it started. And then we was going to London every weekend. I was introducing him to some of my wealthiest old boyfriends, and it didn't seem to click with them, did you?
Well, the thing was, I went out with all of them, but I didn't really like older guys, and so it never really quite worked. They were all fabulous, all charming, all lovely, but it just wasn't right for me.
So then We did that for a time, for about 3 months, and then we was in a little old pub in Sedgley the one night, because we used to meet each other after work, and he said, I don't know where I stand with you. I said, what do you mean?
I don't know whether I still know now.
So anyway, I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, are we together or not? Anyway, I was wondering if that's what you want to be. So within an hour later, we booked into a hotel and having a bit of sex. So we've been together for 37 years. So that's been good.
Oh,
So that's our little story.
Amazing.
But those were the days, you know. Then I used to take him to the gay clubs when I went to gay clubs, and we used to, you know, sit with Dalton and David, and you know, not Julie McDonald, you know, Patrick, all the top ones. We used to,
at the Shadow Lounge
in Soho. So, but now we're still friends with Dalton, we're still friends with David. We go to their parties. You know, we've gone to the White Tie and Tiara party now. How many years is it?
Well, I think we've been to about 14. I think they had about 15 or
14 times. And, you know, we support the charity. Everybody has to pay. And I mean, in those days, it was £3,500 a ticket each. And I always said to Nick, I would rather go there than go to Barbados for a week. And we'd rather go to Elton's.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And some amazing people from we've been sitting by kings and queens, and I mean real queens, not the ones like us, you know. And, you know, also, we've sat next to Diana Ross. But we've also picked up some fantastic celebrity clients
and friends.
Yeah, you know, Nick's been doing Sharon Stone for years. Lots of American A-listers over the years. So, you know, we've met some great contacts. So it's been really worth it, and it's educated us, hasn't it?
Well, not too long ago, we were being interviewed for a magazine, and they were sort of saying about, asking me about your life. What's your life like? And I said, I'll tell you what my life is like. On Thursday, a few years ago, on a Thursday night at 8:30, I was standing in Elton John's garden talking to Kylie Minogue and Shirley Bassey. And at 8:30 on Friday night, I was standing in the queue at the chip shop in Compton, where I live. And that's exactly what my life is. It goes up and it comes down.
Amazing.
Very much down.
So can I just ask some other things that I think might be interesting for the ladies on here, maybe interesting me. So, you know, with all the celebrities and all the fabulous hairs that you've picked up the clients along the way, would you say, like, you know, the hair extensions and all the other things that you can put in your hair, are you a fan of these, or where do you stand with the whole,
I'm a fan
like this got a little
that makes you
ponytail
look better.
You are?
I'm a fan of anything that makes you look better. Hair extensions, Botox, fillers, anything. I mean, everyone who comes into the salon who wants gorgeous long hair or full hair, you know, they talk about celebrities' hair. Usually that celebrity, I would say 7 times out of 10 has got some sort of extension or filler into their hair. Do you know, it's something to fill it out. Girls with long hair, you see on Love Island and Terry and all these places, no one has got natural hair. And we're all, years ago, long hair was sort of here, wasn't it? Now, long hair is like waist length, bum length. It's not natural to get that length and that fullness. So, you know, if you could get it, it's like brides come to me all the while, and usually brides want to have longer hair. So maybe they come to you a year beforehand to start talking about it, or if they're an existing client, they talk about it. And I always say the same thing to them, unless you actually want to grow your hair, don't bother, just buy it, because we can put it in on the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why go through all that trauma of growing your hair when you can just buy it and stick it in?
Yeah.
Mm.
And also the quality of the hair by growing it.
Oh my God.
They want to be long. Yeah.
We live in a disposable world now. Everything's available, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, just out of interest, what products do you actually use in your salon, and what are your favourite things to use? Just out of interest.
We're a L'Oreal salon, so all of our products are L'Oreal. I love most of the L'Oreal products. I love Kerastars. I love anything, because I've got very fine hair, that makes your hair thick and full. So I love things that are like the dry shampoos, they do that sort of thing. I can't live without anything like that. I love anything like an old-fashioned thickening mousse. I love that, because again, being older from the 80s, I just bang it on, sometimes even double dry it, put it on and dry it twice to make your hair look thicker. I mean, I've recently just had a hair extension because I was as bald as a badger at the front. So you just need something to thicken it up, really, don't you?
And it doesn't matter whether it's male or female, isn't it? It's about just making yourself feel better. And this is what we're trying to sort of say on here is anything is, there's no rights or wrongs of anything. You know, if it helps you and helps you feel better, Don't do it.
Exactly. I mean, I know lots of people are against things like hair extensions, Botox, fillers, all of that, but it's a choice, isn't it? And if you choose to have that and it makes you feel better and it makes you feel good, then that's fine.
Yeah.
So interestingly that you said you got a hair extension piece on yours, which is amazing, and it doesn't look like you have.
No, mine's a transplant.
You said extension.
Oh yeah, but why didn't you? Oh, you had a hair transplant. I was going to say,
Yeah,
why
We
didn't you have
both
a
had
hair
hair transplants.
Yeah.
Yeah, and were you thrilled with them? Because obviously it looks fabulous.
I am very pleased with it, but it's weird, isn't it? In my mind, because I was having a hair transplant, I thought I was going to walk out after a year and have this amazing thick hair. Well, of course, I had a bit put in the front, so it's exactly the same, except I got a bit extra in the front. I really thought I was going to have this fabulous, thick, swingy hair, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. It's better than it was.
Yeah, fabulous. Love that reply.
So is that because they can't do that for you, or is it all because it comes from your own hair?
It's your own hair they're putting in, you know, you take the donor hair from the back and put it into the front or the back or the top or wherever you need it. But my hair's extremely fine, so there's only so much to be done with it, really. But in essence, I am thrilled with it. It's so much better than it was.
It's enhanced what we've got, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Fabulous. And so expensive though, aren't they? I mean, I'm all for hair transplants. I really am. Very expensive though, isn't it? You know, I do know it's expensive.
But you know the old saying, you're worth it.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
That's a good saying.
Lovely.
And you can't take it with you, can you?
No, fabulous. So can we just ask, is it okay if we ask the ladies and gentlemen, the people on the Zoom, if they'd like to ask a question?
Julie, do you want to ask them or unhook them?
Is there anybody that wants to ask a question?
Okay, just unmute yourself if you want to ask a question, and don't be shy. They're not going to
bite.
Oh, I'm not shy, darling, not shy.
Talk about you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me then.
No.
I told you he's deaf.
I thought you was talking about me, sorry.
No.
Hi guys, how are you? My name's Jackie. I've got a salon in Bishop Stortford, a day spa and a hair salon. And I have to say, I love your honesty, your openness, your frankness, your breath of fresh air. Really enjoyed it, Liz. Amazing. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, fabulous. So also, where do you actually live in Cheshire?
No, we live in Shropshire. We live in a little hamlet called Chesterton. We've been here just 3 years now. We used to live in Whitwick in Wolverhampton. We've always lived in Wolverhampton. We've moved in like a sort of triangle area of the areas. We've never stayed anywhere longer than 10 years. The last house was the longest, 10 years. And we moved to this house, which is probably 3 or 4 times smaller than the house we lived in before. We downsized, but it's more in a country area, and we absolutely love it. It's like a little home. We absolutely love it.
And especially being in lockdown, you know, we've got lovely walks and, you know, though they don't call it a lockdown here, I call it a locking. You know what I mean? It's like being locked at the pub because we've always got a glass of champagne or a glass of wine in our hand. I've been locked in at the pub.
Oh, love it.
Have you had much response from your clients during lockdown? Do they try and keep in contact with the shop or?
Yeah, we do. I think more so in the first lockdown rather than now. I think the first time we locked down, it was so different, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one really knew what to expect. It's really, we've been part of history, haven't we? The world locked down, it's never happened before. So I think it was strange. And then obviously we had that small lockdown before Christmas and then back at Christmas and now this again. So this lockdown, I think, has been very different. We do keep in touch with people. Obviously, you can't do with everyone, and we keep in touch with the staff and whatever. But it's been so much different this time. I think it's been harder as well because
it's been harder.
Darker nights, bad weather, and also I think people are sick to death of it, aren't they? You know, it's the 3rd time round now. It affects your business, so it does affect how you feel as well. It's just been very difficult, and I think some of the things that have really got on my nerves through lockdown are that, you know, us as a business, we've been closed down, we've not been able to do anything. Yet, you know, there's still mobile hairdressers going around. There's still people I know who are working in salons and things and doing it. And I think it's wrong. We need to pull together as a group. And another thing that's really got me down is when I see hairdressers, well-known hairdressers, go on to TV shows Now, we've worked all our lives to bring hairdressing up to say it's a great career, it's a great job, and we've trained for years to do it, and we still continue training to make ourselves top of our game. And yet you get hairdressers going onto a TV show, showing people how to cut their own hair and saying how easy it is and what we should be doing. It gets my goat because they're bringing the whole of our careers down.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm gonna butt in here, Liz, because I actually couldn't agree with you more. I found it so frustrating that you know, freelance hairdressers are going around doing people's hair behind doors. We're ringing our guests now and you know, getting them booked in for when we open. And they're asking us, are you doing car park hairdressing? I've never heard of car park hairdressing in my life. I've heard of a lot of things you do in a car park, but not hairdressing. And I said to the lady, what do you mean? And they said, well, you know, cutting the hair in the car park. And I was like, absolutely no way. Absolutely not. They went, you're not going to come round to the house. And I'm like, no way. You know, I said, you either wait or you don't, you know. I said, but I do think, you know what, it does get my goat as well when you see all these people on TV doing hair and you're like, you know, we've trained for years and years and years.
I think it's absolutely disgusting that they do, these celebrity hairdressers, and they know who they are, you know, showing somebody how to use a pair of clippers. It's not only that, it's the health and safety part of the matter as well. But, you know, I just think after we trained all these years and they're telling somebody how to cut their own hair, so we're going to lose that client when we get back to the shop. I think it's sensible.
We don't know what we're coming back to.
So do you feel that, like, for you, when you first went back then, that you were super busy, but did you find that you actually did lose some clients, or did you not notice?
It was super busy. I don't think you lose clients.
They stretch it.
I think people were perhaps, I think again with the first lockdown, a little bit afraid of coming into the salon anyway, because they didn't know what the environment would be like. And I think a lot of older clients were very afraid then, and even now I think are still a little bit scared. They'll feel better now they've had the jab, but I think you know, Liz, as a hairdresser, you've got thousands of clients. So unfortunately, you don't always remember every single one. Then suddenly you'll think, well, I haven't seen Mrs. So-and-so or so-and-so, and then you have lost them.
Yeah, but then you get the old scenario, Liz, as you know, somebody's come in through after lockdown, they've grown their hair, they've got this long grey thin hair. I said, you know what, can you just trim the ends off? My husband loves it. If he bloody loves it, you look like a bloody witch. You know, and you think, what? It's because you've got used to seeing yourself. It's like if you have your house wallpaper and you think, first of all, I don't really like that. Give it a week and you get used to it. And that's the scenario about hair. When you grow your hair, it don't look too bad after all. And then, oh, what my husband loves this grey thin hair. And great, get your bloody colour back on.
I say to lots of mine, when they came back, one of my clients who I've known for years, she came in and she was blonde. She was grey, but she'd had blonde on. For 30 years, she'd been blonde. And she said, do you know, I think I'm going to grow it out. I said to her, have you had a lobotomy in lockdown? I said, why would you want to grow your hair out? You've had this for 30 years. Now you really need it and you're old. You want to go grey? Are you mental?
You know, don't get me wrong, it does suit some people if it's short, but I think it's all according to you, how you look, what makeup you wear, what clothes you wear. You know, it's all about enhancing yourself.
It's the whole package, isn't it?
And if you've got bloody grey thin hair and you're trying to grow it, there's nothing worse than it looks, is it really, Nick?
No, because you've got it, you know.
Well, I've got it. Even me, I said to Nick last week, do you know what? I feel as old as you, especially putting the weight on, I'm going to have it coloured. I'm definitely going to have it coloured. Luckily, I've got Nick here and I've got a bit of colour in the garage. You can get it on the head. So I'm definitely going to go have a tinge of blonde put back in. I'm fed up looking old.
Great.
I don't mind feeling somebody old, but I don't want to myself.
So can I ask something? So are you completely honest when people come in and they ask for your opinion? Do you you give it? Well, I think you do from what you've just said. So
I am completely honest. I am. Kerry, the lady here, she's a client. She's been a client for a long time. She'll tell you. I am completely honest.
I am very completely honest. I can remember having a woman in not long before lockdown, and I always have to think of the profile of the shop as well. She came in. She's a woman in her 60s, probably, with the oldest hairstyle you'd ever seen. That was one of the Italian, you know, line the rollers back, down the side, you know, back curve, scoop it round, a bit like the Queen's. And I think it was dyed jet black, and she was as white as snow with the roots. So I wanted to go dyed black. I want you to do me roots, and I want it exactly the same. I said, well, let's go for something different. Let's go for something a bit softer. Let's still keep darker, but we'll put you some lighter colours through it, just so you can get used to growing your grey out and going lighter. Because obviously, as you know, when you go grey, your skin pigment changes as well to go with that grey colour. So if you're remaining to put your dark colour on all the time, it's just going to make you look as hard as the hills. So you've got to go lighter. So I tried to talk her into it, and then she got a bit aggressive. I said, well, let me tell you, I said, you do look like a witch with that black hair. I said, you know, I said, and I'm, as you can see, we're a busy salon, and I would, if you're not willing to change, I'm not willing to do your hair, because I don't want you walking out my shop with that hairstyle. So I'd rather you go. And that's exactly how I put it. I would rather you go, because in the end, I have to keep a 14 busy. And if I'm doing old work, especially me being an older person, then they'll be expecting me to do older looks. Well, I'm not going to do it. You know, I enjoy my job. I'm still into it in a big way at 64, and I'm not going to go back 30, 40 years of what I was doing. We need to go forward. That's why I still work. The team keep me young. I can't wait to go to a nightclub when I come out to 3 or 4 in the morning, because it keeps me young. So why should I do? Why should I do? I love doing older people. There's nothing that I like doing better than doing an older lady and making her look fabulous. And that's not that's enhancing it with a colour. You know, I'm all for old people. I'm old myself. So, and I love it. As well as doing young people, I love enhancing people's beauty.
If I'm honest as well, I think the older clients are more interesting to do now, because all the young girls have just got long hair. All they want is this long, wavy look. The older clients are much more adventurous with colour, more adventurous with the style. So, you know, I think older clients are great. And although it sounds like we see it maybe perhaps slightly aggressive, we're not aggressive to anyone. We just want the people to look the best they can. And if you have a new client and they come into you, you have the consultation, and you can see they're not really willing to change, I'll say to them, in a way, what is the point of you coming to me, a new salon, when all you want is exactly the same? You may as well go back to the girl or the guy who was doing it, because I'm not going to do it like that, because I don't know how they've done it. You know, if you come to a new salon, you've got to do it differently. There's no point. And you've got to be honest.
That's part of our job, isn't it?
Of course, our job is to advise.
We're creative people, you know, at the end of the day.
I'm not saying that we always get it right, but I feel when someone comes to me, the advice I give them, I'm giving them from my heart to make them the best I think I could make them. Maybe, you know, they perhaps might not think it's right, or they don't like it, but to me, I think they'll look better. And sometimes it's not that they don't like it, it's because they've got used to looking at them in a certain way. I know myself, I change my hair sometimes, I think, oh, I don't know, I like this. But 2 or 3 days later, you do. It's change, isn't it?
Yeah. And we're always changing, aren't we, in our trade? You know, you have to keep up with what's going on. But
you know yourself, you wouldn't wear the same clothes you wore 10 years ago. So why do you want the same hairstyle? A hairstyle is the one thing that can make you look amazing and bring you smack bang up to date straight away. Within an hour,
or it can do the opposite. And it does the opposite. If it's awful, it doesn't. No.
I agree totally. It's funny because when I came here, I've had the same hairstyle for 100 years and I've had the same colour. And I said to her, "Now, do you think I could have my hair cut this?" And she went, "No." I said, "Why not?" And she said, "Change that." And she swore, "That colour." I said, you're not coming into my salon again. So I had to change it. I had to have peach.
Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she said no. She said if you have that same hair colour again, so she's not coming on my salon. So yeah, I walked around for peach for a while, and I felt like I was bright orange, and and I had amber in the air, but I didn't. Nobody even bloody noticed.
And also, I have to say, Liz is the queen of colour, isn't she? She's always doing amazing colours. You've always got fabulous colours on Facebook and social media. You do some brilliant colours.
I love to watch your work on social media, Liz.
Oh, do you?
You're very brave with colour, aren't you?
Yeah, I've always loved my colouring. Yeah. I like doing the whole thing. I like doing the whole journey of the whole thing.
Oh, when you said the whole thing, I mean top and bottom.
Oh my God, Liz. We'll be
Can I ask a
chucked offline
question?
very shortly.
Can I ask a question, guys? Just
Yeah.
wondered what your plans were for the future. You're going to retire? You're going to keep going? You've got something else
keep
in
going.
mind?
Lots of people ask us this. I would say we'll definitely keep going. We do love the job, and also, you know, I think it keeps you young. Obviously, like everyone else at this point in life, you've got to get the money sorted, get going, and all of that sort of thing. But the main thing is we do love the job. I think the job keeps you young. So for now, let's just get back to work and get on with it, really.
And look forward to when we come out of lockdown and we have our freedom party. I
Oh
can't
my
wait to have
God.
a party. I want to see
Yeah,
people.
great.
Well, I
Fabulous.
don't
So,
only want to see a few people, I want to see hundreds of people.
Yeah.
So we can have a
That's
big
it.
marquee party when we come out of lockdown, and you'll be invited, Liz.
Thank you very much, darling. I can't wait.
what about me?
Or you can come as well.
As long as I change my hair colour.
You can bring your mate, that's fine.
I can tag along. Anyway, honestly,
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing, boys. It's been
Thank you.
lovely.
yeah, real pleasure. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Such an entertainment.
No, it's great to see everybody.
Lovely.
Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, really nice. Any more questions before we go? I think that's great. Fabulous.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
lovely.
Bye,
Thanks
Karen.
ever, not everybody.
Speak to you in a bit.
Bye-bye.
Nicola
Bye.
Royston, if you can stay on for a moment.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay. Rebecca had to go, but we just wanted to say a massive thank you to obviously the hosts, Tony and Liz. And Rebecca's had to go, but we'll thank her personally. And it's so interesting that you've had us all, you know, wrapped with your stories. So good. And if you stay on, we'll chat to you about our gut program that we're going to get you on.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Go now while you can.
Bye-bye, thank you. Bye-bye,
Bye,
bye-bye, thank you.
Okay, bye everybody.
Oh my God.
Okay, Angie, you stay on as well then.
Thanks, everyone. That was a really stunning morning. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thanks for
Oh,
joining
thank
us.
you.
Bye.
I think it's made our morning,
Yeah.
made our day. Our week,
They
our
definitely
month,
have, haven't
you
they?
know.
What you say, Ange?
Hi, Mark.
It's made our day, our week, our month, our year.
Oh, I tell you.
Thanks,
Brilliant.
everyone.
See you, Lizzie.
Bye. Thanks for joining us. I've got to go and get my jab in a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
But, I've got 5 minutes. Well, just a couple of minutes.
Well, I'll stop recording now, actually. Thanks for reminding me, Liz.